Sonnies, we've been talking about this interview today. So excited for our next guest. Today, we're excited to welcome Dan and Hannah from Tonevender, one of St. Augustine's most beloved music spots and true treasure for record lovers, collectors, artists, and anyone that still believes music is meant to be discovered, held, shared, and experienced. Tonevender is much more than just a record store. It's part listening room, part community hub, part time machine, and part love letter to the magic of music. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Hi,
Thanks
guys.
for having us.
You guys have such an extraordinary music store. I just would love to hear how Tonevender was started, because it didn't start in St. Augustine. Am I saying that right, Dan?
That is correct. It started over 30 years ago, believe it or not, in Gainesville when I was a college student. I had a partner at the time, and then we just kind of did everything guerrilla style. We collaborated our collections of things we didn't want anymore. We worked with different record labels that we admired that on consignment.
Oh, nice.
And then just kind of put every penny back into the business for years and years and years. I ended up moving to Jacksonville when I graduated and bought his share out. And then a couple years later, my band went on tour on the West Coast. My wife and I fell in love with it, so we ended up in Sacramento.
Cool.
And had, I guess, our first quote-unquote real retail space out there, and lived there for a few years. Ended up wanting to start a family, came back to Gainesville, had it online only, didn't have a retail space there. Our house got a sinkhole. So we moved to St. Augustine, where we had always pipe dreamed of having a beach house, but could never afford it.
Yeah.
So we said, let's just jump all in and open the retail store, dump my engineering job, and I've never been happier. So.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a well-rounded story, right?
Yeah, I love it when you
try to
hear
keep it
people
brief.
are like, well, I was working in corporate America, but that's not really what I want to do.
I
and
love
then
that, yeah.
I'm going after my dreams. I love that.
Yeah. So, Hannah, what about you? What's your connection with Tonevender and music?
Well, I started collecting, I guess, CDs when I was a youngin', because that was before like the vinyl.
Youngin', you're still a
resurgence.
youngin'. What are you talking about?
That's very nice of you to say. But when I was in college, so Dan had just opened the store, opened Tonevender, like a couple months before, because Carly was working.
That's
there.
pretty
Shout
early,
out Carly.
Yeah, Carly.
Carly, you're awesome. And you were hiring, and I was like, oh, I'm in college. So I lived in St. Augustine, was just like, I'm going to Flagler because it's here. Shout out Flagler. And then I was like, oh, cool. Like the record store is hiring. That would be a fun job. And then I started working there. I was like, whoa, this is a really fun job. Started collecting records. And I've like worked there on and off ever since.
So, Dan, let's talk about like how music has evolved. I mean, vinyl was here, and then it was gone, and then it now is really back strong. I mean, the value of vinyl too has fluctuated. Can you talk a little bit about the collector's market?
Sure. So, yeah, like you said, I remember when I was a tiny child, my basement had, stacks of records that my siblings had left behind when they moved away. So records has always been in my life. But when I was in college and started the business, even before that, I started getting into vinyl because, downloading wasn't a thing.
True.
MP3s didn't exist. And a lot of the music I was getting into were bands that could only afford to press a 7-inch record at the time.
Oh, wow.
So if you wanted that music, you had to get a record player. So that's why I got my own record player. And then, things were always, I guess, collectible. But I guess getting to your point, later, more recently, it seems like really wild. Like things will become instantly 10 times their value overnight.
Yeah.
Literally, so
Right.
with some things because they just are so purposely limited and like the fever is there. People want
Or the record company like shelves a particular song on an album, they don't release it anymore. Like, and then all of a sudden you have this vinyl. You're like, oh, I just, oh my gosh, I had this Van Leer Rose vinyl.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just incredible because they don't make it anymore. And I went on like eBay just to see, and I'm like,
Yeah.
$350.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
don't know
gosh.
why some of those things. It's like, why do they not keep this in print? Because
Right.
Oh my God, yeah.
But you can't even
there's
download
so
that
many-
song on Spotify,
Oh,
the
wow.
one that she did with Jack White. Like,
Yeah.
incredible where how that kind of fluctuates. And that gives value to some things like that, right?
For sure, yeah. There's a lot of different things that can contribute to like the collectability
But I always open them. I mean, I want to play them.
That's what
That's good. That's
we
good. You should.
applaud
Okay,
that.
yeah.
Yes, you should appreciate and enjoy your records.
I
Yes.
really
So-
do, yeah.
What were the first records,
Oh, good
like
question.
vinyl, that you ever owned and that you ever owned? Tell
That's a
us.
great question.
Tell us the very
So
first.
The very first one, I remember this, I get this question a lot, was the 45 single for Styx, Mr. Roboto.
Oh,
When I was a kid,
Don't worry,
saved
got
up
to.
my allowance or whatever, and that's the first record I bought.
You
and
still
played
have
on.
it?
I don't have it. Like,
No,
it's
bummer.
so sad. Like, why?
Well,
what
you
happened
need to
it? I
have,
don't
you need
even
to
know.
rehab it. You need to like
I
make that
know.
dream again. I
You
love
need to
that.
DJ
Well,
that.
you know what? I don't even think I own it now. You're right. I have to go to Music Matters Remixed.
Let's go.
I know he has to have this on 45 over there. He is a lover of the 80s, so he's got to have it.
He's got to have it. Hannah, what was your first?
Okay, wait, this is awesome because I also have to give a shout out to Music Matters Remix. But Music Matters is where I bought like both of my two first records. I don't remember which one I bought first, but either Jeff Beck's Blow by Blow, which I still have,
Amazing.
or Iron Maiden Peace of Mind.
Oh, that's a great.
Wait, say that one more time.
Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
my husband loves them.
Yes, yeah. So let's talk about Record Store Day and what that's all about. I mean, is it what's the next date? Like, what is this whole Record Store Day thing about?
Go ahead.
Well, okay, I guess technically next date is Black Friday because there's a smaller record store that happens on Black Friday. But Record Store Day is the day of the year that a lot of people are like, I'm going to go to the record store, but it's like so much more than that. It is a day where independent record stores who sign up with the Record Store Day organization have the ability to get these really exclusive releases available only to indie record stores, only available on that day. You can't get them online that day. You have to go to an independent record store. It's super, super cool. It happens in April, and every year it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And actually, fun fact is that Record Store Day predates Small Business Saturday.
Oh, wow.
So it is a way to get people from all over into independent businesses.
Yeah, I know that's
I
a
love
big
that.
day for vinyl collectors. It's like a whole thing that the whole community gets together. Like we'll have like exclusive, like Taylor Swift will come out with a B-side
Ew.
or something. I'm just saying.
I'm not buying a
I
Taylor
know.
Swift.
Whoa,
I
the
just
sass.
clutched my
I
pearls.
put in the
You
pictures
never know
up.
what's going to fall out of her mouth, but she will give you her honest opinion, which that's why we love her very much.
I'm showing the people the pictures of the store.
Great, you just got us
Oh.
canceled for an entire 10 years.
Why? Because I own Taylor Swift.
Yeah, everyone has different opinions. Yeah.
Let's talk about. I'm seeing CDs coming back. I'm seeing tapes even coming back too.
Yeah,
it's
Do you
true.
guys
Mixed
carry
tapes.
all that stuff?
We do. We carry kind of every format. A very,
8 tracks.
We do have some 8 tracks. We've got
Awesome.
some laser discs. We've got VHS tapes. We got everything. But you're right. Tapes. I started seeing tapes come back maybe before CDs were coming back.
Yeah.
And the tape thing was a little less so, but now I think CDs are back in a big way. We sell
Yeah.
a ton of CDs, and we have very few of them compared to the vinyl records that we have in the store. But you can tell, I think the main reason, or there's a couple reasons, but kids are like inheriting or acquiring their first cars that have CD players in them.
True.
My daughter became a huge fan of CDs because of that. She
Oh, wow.
doesn't, she's kind of an old soul a little bit, so she likes having things like, and has a little nostalgia for bygone eras before her time, but she would rather do that than stream, and she doesn't. She has a car that you can't really stream anyway.
That was a safety feature.
That is a side effect, yeah. But then also, let's be honest that records can be kind of expensive. So CDs are a more affordable way to support the artist. You have a physical product, and I think those things kind of contribute
Yeah.
to that. So yeah, we are seeing a bit of a resurgence of those things.
I think it's brilliant. I love seeing
everybody's so worried about texting and driving. Back in the 90s, we had the CD books.
that. Yeah, the big black.
And you'd have it on your
Case
lap.
Logic
Here's your
books,
steering
yeah.
wheel, which,
My
by the
daughter
way,
has 2 of those.
my mother found one of mine from high school. You should see the ADHD genre of music in there.
I love it.
But you'd be driving with this big book on your lap. The steering wheel's here, and you're like,
Shakunk, shakunk, shakunk,
yeah.
shakunk.
And you're like, I know
yeah.
it's in here. Click, click. But that was way more dangerous than texting.
So,
Yeah.
talk about too. I mean, a lot of people order things off of online, big box stores. Sometimes Target will have an exclusive, but it's really important to shop local. I really do have to drive that narrative because it really does matter to the local businesses to really, obviously have the experience with you guys. What do you have to say? Like, why is it important to you personally, both of you, to shop local and really support Tonevender?
Well, it's so much more fun. Like, there's nothing like going into a record store and browsing. Whenever I'm in another town, I like have to
It's
find
so relaxing.
and just like flip through. And
You're
you're not
having
gonna
a
get that
person
online.
interact with you.
It's
Yeah.
like meditating.
exactly.
But I
Learning.
love it. And then it's nostalgic, like, oh, I remember that song. Yeah. Like today we were talking about the Jets.
Oh.
You know, like, God, what a throwback.
But you
Crush
know,
on you.
I'll tell you this. Big box stores are great for what they are. I'm not knocking them because I do order from them. But I'm saying there's nothing like going into a store and having a human
Yeah.
interact with you. Like, I still have cable TV. I don't stream.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
She doesn't like AI either. Don't get
No,
her started
I
on
don't
that
talk about
either.
AI.
Agreed.
But I'm just
Agreed.
saying, like,
E-bikes, not a fan.
walking into like your record store. My husband actually frequents your store quite often.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And like walking in there, that's what he loves about it. He loves because he was born in 1970. I just put his age on the street.
Wow.
But he loves vinyl and he like loves flipping through the records and interacting with your staff. And I'll tell you what, there's nothing, a big box store cannot replace that human connection.
So that kind of brings me to my next question is like, if a big box store has an exclusive like that, do you guys have access to that to find it so that we could support you instead of going to those big box stores?
Sometimes we end up getting those because they have a contract for a limited time, and if they've pressed more than that store sells, they'll end up in stores like ours. So sometimes we'll get shipped from the distributor, Walmart exclusives,
Cool.
or Target
It's
exclusives.
good to ask that. Yeah.
But with a lot of those things too, there are because of going back to the collectability. Taylor Swift or various artists are guilty, quote unquote, of pressing a lot of different variants on vinyl. So there will be an indie exclusive for stores like us, independent record stores. There will be
Cool.
a Barnes and Noble exclusive, a Target exclusive. Sometimes there's a mix of those. Sometimes there's all of those. So that's kind of nice for the ones that people know. The powers that be know that artist has a big collectible fan base. That way the fan base can support, they're going to get their Target money or whatever for partnering with them, but then they'll work with independent record stores and organizations like Record Store Day to
I'm
do
glad for that. I'm glad that you said
that kind
that
of
because I always wondered. I was like, I really would rather shop locally than go to Target or Walmart or
Yeah.
even Amazon because Amazon's just so easy. It's like a click. But could somebody email you guys and say like, hey, do you have the new Charlie XCX album that's coming out?
Of course.
That's awesome. I
yeah,
love that.
and then we do special orders as well.
Okay.
So if you don't see something in the store, please ask us. We are more than happy to get it for you if it's something that's available to us. Sometimes we can back order things and just wait for it to come back in stock. Sometimes it's available literally the next day. We have a distributor we can order today, get it tomorrow. So we have a lot of options.
Hannah, do you guys have like unboxing days? Like you get super excited when shipments come in?
Oh my gosh!
Yes.
Well, that's every
Every day.
single day.
Oh.
So if you catch me in the store like at certain times a day, it is just like pile of boxes.
So
and
fun.
just like opening. Yeah, it's really
And
really
promo
cool.
and all the really cool stuff, yeah.
So now-
And people ask, they're like, oh, like when do you get new things? And I'm like, every single day we
I
get
love
new
that.
things and new used things because people just walk in and they're like, hey, I have records to sell. So
Yeah.
it's
Yes.
constant. Yeah.
So Dan, let me ask you this. You said you were an engineer.
Yes.
Okay, so when did you say, I am done being an engineer?
So
And you decided, like, I need to do this because I love music. I
Yeah.
want to share it with people.
yeah.
What was, like, the straw?
The full story is that, I always loved music. I went to college. I got talked into being an engineer by my former brother-in-law a little bit. I'm my own person. I could have made my own decisions, but it sounded like a good idea, so I went to school for that. And after 1 or 2 semesters, I thought I should really go change into business because I had the idea of opening a record store, but I didn't do it. I thought it's too late. And literally every semester through my whole schooling career, I said the same thing. I said, I should change now. No, it's too late. And I never did. I got my engineering degree. I'm not sad about that. I did end up where I am because of fate, whatever. So I started this business about my second year of college with the friend of mine that I mentioned earlier, and always kept engineering on the side or in conjunction with doing the record thing. The record thing was always just kind of like a hobby on the side, a side hustle. Until we moved to Sacramento. And then I knew that I wasn't comfortable doing one or the other solo, so kind of rode my bike around town, found an engineering office, just walked in the door and said, hey, you guys hiring? And they hired me part-time, which I thought was unusual to get a part-time engineering job.
Yeah.
And then I ended up opening my store right next to it.
Oh,
So I would go in the
that's
morning.
an easy commute.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
no
it was
traffic.
fantastic. I literally would walk there from my apartment, go to the engineering job for a couple hours in the morning, open the store for the rest of the day. And so anyway, going back to Florida, kept engineering when we started a family because I was again scared to have that income. And then so the cutoff was when we moved here.
Awesome.
And I just said, I can't do it on the side anymore. It's growing. It's going to consume all my time to run the business. And
St. Augustine's a magical place because you have a dream and it can come into fruition. Absolutely. And I love that. There's something really magical about this town.
How did you meet
Moved here
Hannah?
20 years ago from New York City, and I get that vibe because it's like you're taking this huge risk of leaving a place to go into this new magical land. But like Mel asked, how did you find St. Augustine?
Yeah, and then how did you meet Hannah? How did all this come to fruition?
So I was when I was a kid, we vacationed here. Grew up in Buffalo.
Okay.
And we would come to Florida pretty much every year since I was 7 years old. I don't remember the first time we came to St. Augustine, but I definitely remember staying at Ocean Gallery on the island, still there. Stayed at Hibiscus on the island, also still there. And my mom loved it and would always kind of, daydream about moving to Florida. Well, I went to college, or when it was time to look at college, I looked at 3 Florida schools and 1 New York school, applied to them all, got into them all. I chose UF. So I guess I was the first one to move down, and then I have 3 older sisters. And fast forward, we all live here
That's
now.
awesome.
We
I
all
love
live in
that.
Florida. 2 of my sisters and my mother all live in St. Augustine.
Yay.
So my wife and I got married in St. Augustine when we lived in Jacksonville. We used to come to St. Augustine all the time when we were in Gainesville, just for day trips. So St. Augustine has always, not always, but since I was young, has been a part of my life, and just obviously some magnetic force drew me here.
That's
Thank
so
God it
amazing.
did.
Yeah.
As Taylor Swift would say, it's an invisible string that kind of pulls you in. You see, I brought it right back to our Swifties right there. So Hannah, let's talk about your journey too. You said shout out Flagler College. What did you study?
I was an English major.
Wow.
Yay.
You know where the commas go.
Right, and everyone's like, "What are you gonna do with that?" And like,
You're
I
like,
work-
I'm
I
gonna
actually-
write stuff for Tonevender.
I actually work at Tonevender. I actually have my dream job. So
That's
it's really
amazing.
cool.
Oh, I love
Good.
this.
And I love that because you don't really hear people say that very often. So how long have you been with Tonevender?
So we opened 13 years ago,
Fabulous.
last month. And I wasn't involved then, but like quickly thereafter. And then I worked there until 2016. I got married and moved to Michigan for a couple years.
It
Ooh,
snows
where in
there.
Michigan?
I lived in like Metro Detroit down
How was
river.
Ferndale?
Oh my God, Wyandotte.
Oh, my God, I love
Yo,
that.
Ferndale has a really cool record store.
Yeah.
As I don't know if
That's where I started. That's where I started collecting, yeah.
I also love, like, side story is that people from Michigan love to visit Florida, as
Yeah,
you probably know.
absolutely.
And so like almost every day this time of year, I'll see like yesterday someone had like a Pontiac Silverdome shirt on, and I was like, oh,
Oh,
the Silverdome. And then we
shout out.
talked about where we were from in Michigan. It was really cool, even though I'm not from there.
So do you know the song "It's So Cold in the D"?
Oh, dude, it's
Yeah.
so cold in the D.
Come on.
Yeah.
How
introduced me to
you
that
gonna
song.
keep
Dude,
peace?
okay, but wait. Do you know what breaks my heart is Lafayette Coney is no more.
No, I didn't know that.
So it's like that location. There is another one.
Okay.
But like the location they filmed in. One of the guys
Wow.
like laying there. I don't know if he's
yeah.
dead.
Oh
RIP,
yes. Yeah,
But-
that is something that
yeah.
circulates in our friend groups.
Yeah.
So let's get back to Tonevender and the music. I know you guys have this incredible like partnership with the amphitheater. Am I saying this right? Don't you guys have like a market day or something? Is that September-ish?
That is in September. So it started shortly after I moved here, where another guy that was in town that had a record store used to do a small kind of a record show, they call them, where you get different vendors from all over to set up. He had kind of a smallish one and asked if I wanted to take it over. And I said, sure. And I knew Ryan Murphy from the amphitheater.
Yeah,
the former
shout out Ryan.
manager.
God bless.
He asked, or I asked him, I forget who asked who, but we ended up hosting it at the amphitheater as a community event kind of thing. And then we did 2 a year, one in the fall, one in the spring for years until COVID. And then it was on pause for a few years. And then when we came back, we'd only do a fall record fair. So it's called the St. Augustine Record Fair. It is always the last Sunday of September.
Awesome.
And it's part of the Sing Out Loud Festival.
And it's so awesome to go and see. Like, there's just so much music to choose from, right? Do you love this event?
Oh my God. It's so great. It's so every record fair is fun in its own way, but I think this one, the St. Augustine Record Fair, is super unique because it is open air. It's super family friendly. There's like always at least one really fantastic band playing.
I love that.
And there's so much to look through, and everyone's just in such a good mood all day.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
It's a great vibe all the way.
Most record shows, you get like people that are just hardcore record collectors, and they're in a hotel conference room, and it's kind of stale and environment. But the record fair is just all about fun. It's a day out. There's people laying on the grass, drinking a beer,
Cool.
chatting with friends.
It's like
just
record fair
enjoying
Woodstock.
The day, kind of, yeah. So it's for everybody, and there's records, there's like art there, there's
Awesome.
all kinds of things.
So much fun. So what's next, guys? What can we look forward to this summer with Tonevender?
Ooh, okay,
up and
Saturday.
show out.
Yeah, this Saturday.
Big news, we're debuting, announcing here right now. Go.
Oh yeah, okay. So you heard it here first.
Drum roll.
So go to the Pride Festival in the morning, of course, obviously, but then come to Tonevender because we're celebrating our 13th birthday. Woo!
that's awesome.
13 is my lucky number.
We gotta
nice.
go.
You
And
know
you
who
hate
else?
Taylor Swift.
You know who else is looking for 13?
If you say Taylor Swift, I'm leaving. Let's put it this way. I was born way before her, so therefore it's my she copied me.
Sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead, Boo.
But we're doing a huge party all day. We're gonna be open a little bit longer, so 9 to 7 on Saturday.
Fabulous.
And we're gonna have sales and exciting stuff happening all day.
And to clarify, it's our 13th year in St. Augustine.
Yes.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
Yay.
Also, what about resale? Do you guys ever buy records off the street, walk-ins, anything like that? Like gold buying business? Is there a record buying business too? I just want to get that in there.
That happens pretty much every day. Yeah.
Okay.
Someone will come in with, a small handful, or they'll call. We get a lot of calls every day asking if we buy records. So that is the entirety of where our used records come from in the store. We're fortunate enough that it happens so frequently, we don't even have time to go hustle and look for them. I know a lot of other stores or places will kind of put ads out there.
True, yeah,
They'll-
yeah.
they'll go make house calls, drive around. But we're pretty lucky that I guess people search for St. Augustine record stores and give us a call, and then we acquire quite a few that way.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's good. It kind of keeps everything, in the circle because we're sitting on some Cocteau Twins vinyl
yeah.
that we may have to stop by.
Yeah, we're gonna have to sell that.
Interesting.
Very
Do you know who
interesting.
they are? The dolphin
So good.
lady.
Guys, thank you so much for your time today. This has been so amazing. These chats are not done. We have so much more to ask
Yes.
you to, but thank you for
Thank you for
coming
having
in
us.
today.
Thank you for, yeah.
Oh,
Absolutely.
how do people follow you,
Yeah.
find you, socials, all the things?
We're on Facebook, Instagram, a few others that we use less often, but we have our own website, tonevender.com.
And then also, I give this hack frequently, is that if you go to our Eventbrite, that's where you can find the most up-to-date information first
Okay.
about
Awesome.
listening parties and special events we're doing.
Awesome.
Awesome.
And I'll do that, and I'll keep shouting you guys out because it's so amazing to have you guys in town. And you're such an incredible music shop, and I wanted to shout it out to our Sunday. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
for having us.
y'all.
Awesome. Guys, we're going to take a quick break with Maritime Creative and Flashes of Brilliance.